Today's job market is, well, let's just say it's crowded and oversaturated as more and more people across the country and the world as a whole are getting their degrees and are gaining experience, leaving some people out of a job or trying their hardest to get a job in such a crowded market, right? And so a lot of people have skills nowadays. A lot of people have their formal education through college, and people have certificates, things of that nature. When so many people have these things, it's harder to stand out as a candidate, right? When it comes to getting a job. And so one easy skill that I feel like a lot of people tend to neglect nowadays is conversational skills, right? Being able to talk to people. When you go to these job fairs or you go to these interviews, it can be hard, you get nervous and things like that. But once you figure out how to actually talk to these employers, how to actually talk to these talent acquisition managers and things like that, it is definitely beneficial for you when it comes to getting a job. Whenever I was getting my internship last April, I had spoke to the people that I'm now working for. I had spoke to them at one of the career and internship fairs we had on my campus. And this was back in fall of 2024. So I first spoke to them then and let them know that I was interested in working there. And then they told me, oh yeah, we'll have internship opportunities in the spring and summer, right? So I was like, okay, I'll be back around then. And in the following spring, they were still there, or they had came back to the career and internship fair for that semester. So I actually did my research on their website and things like that. And I went back to them and I talked to them and I let them know how much I value their culture and how much I value their mission statement, And from there, I was able to put myself ahead of other candidates because one, I had followed back up with them, and two, I really let them know that I was interested in working there and not just walking around just looking for places to hand out my resume. I was actually interested in what they were building towards as a company, and that's what helped me stand out. And then after the career and internship fair, I made sure to continue to reach out to people within HR, and then from there, I was able to get to interviews, and then I was able to actually get to the internship from just communicating and using my conversational skills, just talking to people, continuing to reach out to them, kind of being a pest. But being a pest, it can work if you are really passionate about the job you want and you know that you have the skills that they desire. It keeps you in their minds that you keep reaching out to them, you know how to talk to them, and you just interact with them like they're actual people instead of just, oh, this person is just gonna hire me, this and that. Like, you actually have a genuine conversation with them. They can get to know you more and you can get to know them more, to better place yourself in that position. When it comes to getting jobs and it comes to interviews and things like that, you need to emphasize your willingness to learn. That's a big point. And this is also by having conversations with the top people within those departments that you're trying to work in, or even the talent acquisition managers, people like that. The more you emphasize your willingness to learn, because if you're coming out of college, right, you're not going to have that much experience unless you worked or you had an internship, things of that nature that relate to your degree or your major, right? And so you're going to have to find a way to stand out without the experience per se. Because even now, like, some entry-level jobs will require like 2 years of experience. And a lot of people are like, wait, how is that even possible? I just got out of school. Like, how am I supposed to have 2 years of experience already when I literally just held up my degree? You feel me? And so this is why I'm saying conversational skills and emphasizing your importance to learn, or your willingness to learn more, it will really set you up there, because to your managers and things like that, or your potential managers, it shows them that you're curious and that you actually want to learn something new on the job. You know, you're not just there to work, you're there to learn as well. You're continuing your education past your formal education. At this point, this would be your, I guess, informal education through work. Being open to improvement helps you stand out amongst candidates, because there are candidates out there that are like, oh, I got the experience, I got the skills, like I know I can do everything. But in reality, we don't know everything. You know, every company works different. So if you think you know everything going in there, you're trying to be, you know, the top dog, you're trying to be cocky. You know, it may not necessarily work out in your favor. And I ain't saying to be confident, like not to be confident. You should always be confident in your work, but you should also acknowledge that you have more to learn and more to improve on. You know what I'm saying? And so I also briefly touched on this when I was given my experience when it came to me getting an internship and job. But a bonus point here is that you need to make sure that you properly research the company's website to find their mission statement, their culture, and just other various things they've done, you know, and see if you really align with their message and their vision. And if you do, that's a great point to bring up, that you value the culture they have, you value the mission they're working towards, right? Whenever you go to talk to these people at like job fairs and things of these natures, right? Or even within the interview, you just let them know how much you value their message and that you care about what they're doing and that you want to be a part of that success. You emphasize that, and to them, that'll show them that you genuinely care. You actually want to be there, you know? Instead of just, oh, I just want to work, like I just want to have a job. You're passionate about it. You are excited to work there and meet new people, you know? I feel like that definitely puts you in a better place to succeed in such a crowded job market. At the end of the day, your skills obviously matter, but when it comes to getting a job in today's market, conversational skills are the end all be all. You need to know how to talk to people. And I'm not saying that you have to be buddy-buddy with everyone, but talking to people and getting to know them will get you further than your skills will when it comes to an entry-level position. You can worry about getting your skills together whenever you actually get the job. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm currently working on. Like, I do data analytics, and there's a lot of stuff I'm still having to learn every day. You know, there's a lot of stuff I'm still having to improve on when it comes to my field. You know, getting the job doesn't mean the learning is finished, like I said. But yeah, I hope this video helped you if you're one of the people struggling to find a job in today's market. And if it did, just feel free to drop a like, subscribe for more think pieces like this and educational videos, and drop a comment as well, like talking about your career aspirations, and I'll make sure to respond to them to the best of my ability. Thank you all for watching, and please do great things every day.